Hi, everybody. We are on to part 9 of the one and only Bob. We have just kind of learned about, well, not learned about, but we were reminded about Ruby because Bob just went to the zoo that Ivan and Ruby are living at, and he gets to kind of hang out with them there. So we'll just keep going, see what happens next. Ruby's family. Little Ruby seems much more content at the park, surrounded by her new herd. Old and young and in between, they spoil that adorable pachyderm like you wouldn't believe. She deserves every minute of it. Kid had a rough start. Seems elephants hang out in packs of females. Now that she's at the park, Ruby has adoptive sisters and aunts and grandmothers galore. In the wild, the elephant guys head off once they're old enough to do their own thing. Sometimes I lose track of who's who among the elephants because they're always taking mud baths, scrambling their smells. By the way, what kind of animal actually likes baths? Mud? Sure. Ivan's art. How's it going, girl? I call to Ruby as she stops near the moat edging the wall. I had cantaloupe for breakfast, Uncle Bob, and it was yummy, and then I took a mud bath. She pauses to take a breath. Do you want to hear a new dog riddle, Uncle Bob? Of course I do, I say, and I catch Ivan's amused glance. What kind of dog is always on time? Asks Ruby. You got me, Ruby. I'm totally baffled, befuddled, bewildered. What kind of dog? A watchdog! Ruby exclaims. Watchdog! Get it, Uncle Bob? Not bad, Ruby. Not bad at all, I say. Ivan says it's going to rain buckets, says Ruby. She dips her trunk in the moat and blows bubbles. I think Ivan's onto something there. Did he show you his new picture? Ruby asks. She grabs a tuft of grass and tosses it in the air. I wish I could see it, but I can't because of that silly wall, but he's told me all about it. My pal Ivan is quite the artist, just like Julia. Ivan sits up and nods toward a spot on the wall. Another mud mural, I ask. As any good dog knows, dirt plus water equals mud, and mud means mess, and mess means let's roll in this stuff and maybe dig a hole or 2 or 10. But for Ivan, mud plus a flat surface equals a waiting canvas. I crane my neck, edging a bit farther down the top of the wall. Don't want to draw attention to myself. Hey, nice, I say. I mean, I'm not an art guy. To me, art is a glob of spray cheese on a cheese dog with extra grated cheese on top. Still, I've always admired Ivan's work. Ivan begins. Nope, I say. Don't tell me. Let me guess. You always guess wrong, Ivan says. Not always. You thought my palm tree was a dandelion. Art is in the eye of the beholder, I say. You thought my blackberries were giant ants. Kenyani ambles up to join the conversation. And need I remind you that you thought his portrait of me was a chimpanzee with gas? The resemblance was striking, I say. Kenyani glares at me. She glares at me a lot. On the subject of chimps. Probably I shouldn't have mentioned the chimp angle. Gorillas aren't as open-minded as dogs. A lot of them have a thing about chimps. They think they're clowns. But when I look at apes or gorillas, seems to me they have a lot more in common than they admit to. Dogs ain't perfect, but I'll tell you one thing we rule. Tolerance. For us, a dog is a dog is a dog. I see a Great Dane, I say, howdy. I run into a puggle, it's glad to meet you. How's it going? Smelled any good pee lately? Go to a dog park and you'll see. We are equal opportunity playful. You sniff my rear, I'll sniff yours. You don't see that with humans, obviously. Constantly seeing differences where none exist. All those things like skin color, dogs could care less. You think I won't hang with a Dalmatian because he's spotted? Or a Shar Pei because she's wrinkled? I'm not saying I love every dog I meet. Snickers comes to mind. But I'll always give a dog the benefit of the doubt. Life is short. Play is good. And there are plenty of tennis balls to go around. A very handsome dog. Hi, Aunt Kenyani, Ruby calls. Once again, Ruby, says Kenyani, I am not your aunt. I am primate, and you, my dear, are not. More's the pity. But if Ivan is my uncle, then you have to be my aunt, Ruby declares. Ahem, says Ivan, pointing at the wall. My painting, Bob? I consider. It looks like a dog. Ruby flaps her ears. I can tell she's trying very hard to stay quiet. A very handsome dog, I add. Is it? It is! Ruby exclaims. It's you, Uncle Bob! Uncle Ivan told me! But who's that? I ask, pointing to another set of mud strokes. I thought you needed a companion, says Ivan. I know you must get lonely at home by yourself all day. It's true, but I've never mentioned that to Ivan. Guy's like a mind reader. I think Snickers and Bob would make a cute couple, says Ruby. I blink in disbelief. Bite, you're drunk. Ruby starts to reply, but her voice is drowned out by a sharp clap of thunder. Storm's getting closer, says Kenyani. Ivan, dear, come on. You know how you hate the damp. It's true. He carries around old burlap bags so we won't have to sit on wet grass. Ivan looks at me sheepishly. She knows me so well. Kudzu, one of the baby gorillas, bounds over and leaps onto Ivan's back. Ivan loves all the youngsters, but Kudzu is his favorite. I think she reminds him a little of his twin sister Tag, who died when she was still a baby. Ride! Kudzu commands. Julia appears, her backpack at the ready. Bob, she calls, we need to get going. Ride now, Kudzu repeats, yanking on one of Ivan's ears. Looks like it's time to go, says Ivan. Good to see you, buddy. Stay dry, okay? Will do, big guy. I turn to Kenyani. Enchanted, as always, my dear. A trumpeting noise cuts through the air. Uh-oh, says Ruby. That's Aunt Akello. Akello, the oldest of the elephant aunts, lumbers over. Come on, Ruby. Weather's getting bad. Just one more minute, Ruby pleads. Now. But I need to tell Uncle Bob one more riddle. Now, Akello repeats. Nobody ever listens to the littlest elephant, Ruby complains. You can tell me the riddle next time, kiddo, I say, winking at Akello. Ruby brightens. Okay, gotta go or I'll be in big trouble. Love you, Uncle Bob. See you later, Ivan and Aunt Kenyani. I'm not your... Kenyani begins, but Ruby is already galloping back to her herd. The beginning. In the distance, thunder growls long and low and not giving up. Reminds me of my stomach pre-breakfast. I test the air. Weird. Something isn't right. Julia! It's George rushing over. Hurry up, you need to get inside. George has an odd scent, like he's on guard. I've only smelled it on him a few times. I look up. The clouds have turned strange shades of green and yellow and gray, clustered together like rows of fat marshmallows. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. I can't stop looking. The air goes still, like a cat before it leaps on its prey. Kenyani and Ivan and Kudzu are racing toward Gorilla Villa. A fat raindrop hits my nose. It tastes wrong. How can rain taste dangerous? People are yelling, running, opening umbrellas, covering their heads with maps of the park. More drops. At the far end of the field, I can just make out Akello herding Ruby along. Another drop. A dry one, like a pebble. Hail, George says. Julia, now! He grabs her hand. Rumbling, the sky boils and swirls. Bob, Julia calls. Come on! I move to leap off my perch to run to Julia. I've done it 1,000 times, but this time I lose my footing. I never slip. I'm as nimble as Nutwit. But the rain, the hail, I let out a yelp as I land on Ivan's side of the wall, splat in the mud. Bob! Julia screams. He'll be okay, George says. I can smell Julia's fear and George's doubt as he drags her away. Torn apart. Noise. It's all noise. Noise that hurts. Noise like a massive truck bearing down on us. The power of its engine. The inescapable wheels. The relentless roar. Nothing to see. Nothing even to smell. Just the terrible sound of the world disintegrating. I think we'll stop there. All right, friends. Stay tuned for the next part.